So Tammy and I are visiting Baltimore, and we are going to go to the Walters Art Museum.
Yes, so it's supposed to have some nice Asian art and Baroque art, and it's free too, so perfect.
Free is my favorite word. So this is the main entrance to the Walters Art Museum here in Baltimore. Going in. So this is a free museum in Baltimore, the Walters Art Museum. We're gonna go in and take a look at some artwork. Hi, hon. So apparently Henry Walters was a rich man in Baltimore many, many years ago. And he had a very large art collection. And he commissioned to have it put into this building, which has now become the Walters Art Museum in Baltimore. So Tammy and I are visiting the Walters Art Museum in Baltimore, and we're entering one of the first rooms here, and we're going to take a look around the room, and we are going to pick our favorite piece of art and our least favorite individually, and then we're going to reconvene and talk about it.
Exactly. So some nice European art in here from the 19th century.
Let's take a quick look at all of it. All right, so we went through and picked our favorites and least favorites. My favorite was these two, which show peace, a mother and her two kids. And then this one's called War, which shows, unfortunately, the passing of the mother and the two kids. Now, I don't know a lot about art, but some of these things I just like better than others. And I can't tell you much about the artist or anything, huh?
Yeah, me either.
But our least favorite, both of us, was down here at the end of the gallery.
Kind of stuff
Yeah, you got this kid who just, I don't know, the proportions just don't look right compared to everything else in this section of the gallery. And this one's just a little creepy to me. It's called Child with Strawberries. So, yeah. What was your favorite one down here?
The one right behind you actually was my favorite. The child just looked so peaceful and having fun picking cherries outside.
The cherry picker. Very nice. So we're at the Walters Art Museum in Baltimore. We found this kind of creepy staircase to the second floor. You can take the elevator, but this seems like a much more interesting way to get up to the second floor.
This is way more cool.
Yeah.
Woo. Wow, it keeps going, but we can't go up any higher.
Yeah, this is
the ravens.
Oh yeah, well that's cool. But that's locked, and here is the second floor. Wow, beautiful columns and sculptures.
Marble.
So at the Walters Art Museum here in Baltimore, and we're at a room full of sculptures and columns. And Tammy, we were looking at our favorite and least favorite, and her answer I think is the best. Her favorite, she said, is this whole room, which is just a beautiful room with a light skylight ceiling, letting the light in, and surrounded by this Roman sculpture. So it's a beautiful art museum and a beautiful wife. So from the main room, we're going to be entering the 17th century Dutch cabinet room, which has a darker kind of oak feel to it, I guess. And we're going to be going through here and looking at the artwork and picking our favorites and least favorites in this area of the museum next. But this is the Walters Art Museum in Baltimore. So in this room we picked out our favorite and least favorite. I think we both agreed one of our least favorites is this heart, which is like a vase, but the valves and veins and arteries coming out of the heart just look wrong and give it a creepy feel to it. And then my favorite one, just given the size of it, is this large work right here, which depicts, looks like a family, and there's some angels up in the clouds in the upper right hand corner. You agree, hon?
Yeah, I mean, that was your favorite, but I know we've seen that piece somewhere too.
Your favorite was
my favorite was one of the smaller blue and white vases, kind of.
That's next to the creepy heart.
Yeah.
At the Walter Art Museum in Baltimore, we're looking at the 17th century Flemish collection of art and wonder. And walking in this room, just the ceiling is so intricate and beautiful. And then walking around, there's just so much to see. So many works of art and animals up on the ceiling, taxidermied animals, a peacock, and then over the door that we walked in, there's an alligator as well. So we're going to take a look at this room and look at the art. So this room here is also known as the Chamber of Wonders, and these are collections of oddities from around the world, which are to make you contemplate all the different things in the world and how they're connected together.
In this room, there's also a mummy. Mummy of a little girl.
Yeah, that's sad. Little girl mummified.
It is sad. But they were highly sought after, it says, in the time.
And Tammy's favorite thing was?
Well, I was having trouble picking one. I like this one. This is about getting all the animals into Noah's Ark. And I love animals, so
off in the distance. And
I liked that.
Yep.
That was probably one of my favorites, but even you've got this, one of the fruit and flowers is really pretty. I just like the look of the colors. But there is a skull in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Didn't even notice that until closer. Life and death, I guess.
I'm not an art expert, but my least favorite one in this room was this sculpture right here, which I think doesn't help that I think the nose is chipped off a little bit.
So it makes it look scary.
Yeah, it just has a creepy look to it. I think that was Tammy's least favorite too. And my favorite part of the room were the preserved insects. I just like looking at all these different insects from around the world. Very interesting to see. Not something you think you'd see in an art museum. Really, really cool seeing all this stuff. These different types of butterflies and insects and stuff. So this is the Chamber of Wonders.
And next is off to the halls of arms and armor.
So here's the Hall of Arms and Armor. You got swords and spears and armor of various kinds with helmets. There's even armor for a child right here. Pretty cool. And they got some Asian influenced armor here as well. So now we're entering the collector's study, which has all these intricate objects from all over the world, including keys and statues and carvings and paintings. There's just so much to look at in this room. So at the Walters Museum in Baltimore, and now we're going to take a look at Greek and Roman art. And this gallery just keeps going and going. It's huge. There's so much to look at. Vases and sculptures, headpieces. I don't know if we're going to have time to see it all. It's very cool. And it's all free. My favorite word. Walter Museum of Art in Baltimore, and here's a room with sarcophagi and coffins from Roman times. You can see the intricate carvings in them. And then there's this one, the creepy mouth. Don't bite me. And then at the Walters Art Museum in Baltimore, here is the Egyptian art exhibit. And here's a room filled with various types of art from ancient Egypt. So much to look at. So we're still exploring the Walter Art Museum here up on the 3rd floor. Look at these gates, and then you can overlook the columned area and sculptures below. And then taking a look at some 18th century art over on this side. And you can see these paintings in these rooms right here. And once again, even the ceiling you got to look at. And take a look at the sculptures in the ceiling. And just see this extensive art collection. It's beautiful. So here's a room filled with 16th century art from the Walters Museum in Baltimore. And then here is 15th century art. In this room, and followed by 13th and 15th century art in this room over here. So you've got a lot of Italian art. The Walters Museum in Baltimore. Here's some Buddhist art from East and Southeast Asia. This Thai collection of Buddhas at the museum here in Baltimore depicts Buddha in the different postures, including standing, walking, seated, and reclining. And this section down these stairs right here has the art of India, Nepal, and Tibet. Here's some more rooms at the Walter Museum here in Baltimore. There's just so much art to see here. It really is incredible how much they have, and it's all free. Beautiful.